Hello. Now we are talking and discussing about the second book of the second paper, which is name is The Pointed Vision. This is a collection of short stories. In this book, there are five short stories. The first short story is entitled as Three Questions. It is written by Leo Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy was born in a family that was ranked among the most powerful, noble, and rich landowner of uh, Czarist Russia. Tolstoy is one of the greatest names in the world literature. He was a great novelist and a great thinker. His writings are and life had great influence on Mahatma Gandhi, who was indebted to Tolstoy to a very great extent. It in involving evolving his philosophy of truth and non-violence. Tolstoy was count a man of great wealth and high position, but his heart was full of humanity, and gradually he realized that to own so much wealth was sinful in a country where so many had go without food. He preached the and practices the philosophy of renunciation and simple living based on equality. His best known work is War and Peace. Among his other works are Anna Canarian, The Death of Ivan, and the short stories 23 Tales. His short stories are full of his religious fervor and represent the union of great moral conviction and minute psychological analysis. The main tenet of his religion and renunciation of violence and wealth, improvement of the inner self, compassion for all living things, and abolition of government and churches. Now, the story entitled as Three Questions was written in 1903. It is one of the stories Tolstoy contributed in aid of Jews left destitute after the massacres and outrage in Kishinev and elsewhere in Russia. These outrage possible pre- preempted the yet more terrible Jewish massacres in 1905 and shook Tolstoy the very core. The king had a great desire to be perfect in his work. He thought he could be successful if he knew the answer to the following three questions. These are number one, what is the right time for every action? Number two, who are the people that matter most? Number three, what is the most important thing to do? Though a crisp narrative, the story reveals the importance of the present in life. It is now that matters in our dealing for the past is irretrievably gone and the future is still hidden. The most important time is present. The most important person is one we are dealing with at that moment, and the most important thing is to do good to our fellow being. This moral is conveyed through the story of a king who wants a kind of formula for success in life. The most appropriate time to do a thing, the right person to deal with, and the most important action. Various answers come his way, but he is not satisfied. He goes to a hermit as a seeker to learn the answer. A hermit does not say anything but elaborate on incident of the day to provide convincing answer to the three questions. The incident on the previous day had proved that now is the most important time. The most important man is he with whom you are. The most important thing is to do him good. The union of great moral conviction and realistic details and immense imaginative version combined make Leo Tolstoy one of the great European writers. There was once a king who was even anxious to know how he would be perfect man, so that he would never fail in anything he might undertake. It occurred to him that if he always knew the right time to being everything, if he knew who are the right people to listen to, and above all, if he knew if he knew the what was the most important thing to do, he would never fail in anything he might undertake. The king was very eager to know the answer to these questions. He even offered a big reward for it, but there was no person in the kingdom who could give satisfactory answer. Therefore, the king decided to consult a hermit who lived in a wood. The hermit was known for his wisdom, but received none but the common folk. So the king went to him in simple clothes. He went on foot. He left his bodyguard behind at some distance. The hermit was digging the ground and in front of his hut. The king went up to him and repeated his questions for hermit, but the hermit gave no answer. He went on digging. Then hermit was very that hermit was very thin and weak. The king felt pity for him, so he uh, took the spade and starting digging for the hermit. He kept digging till sunset. Then he again requested hermit to give answer to his question. Just then bearded man come running there. He was badly wounded. He was crying with pain. He fell down and fainted. The king the king nursed him with loving care. He washed his wound and bandaged in the man closed his eyes was now quiet. The king was deadly tired. He lay down on the ground and was soon fast asleep. When he awake up, it was morning. The bearded man was already awake. He requested the king to forgive him. He told the king who was. He said that he was the king's enemy. He had come there to kill the king, but he was found out the king's bodyguard who wounded him. The man was deeply touched by the king's kind treatment, so he begged the king to forgive him. He promised to serve the king as his slave. The king forgave him very gladly. When the king once again requested the hermit to answer the question, he told the king that his question had already been answered. The incident on the previous day had proven three things. Now is the important time. The most important man is he with whom he is at present. The most important thing is to do him good, to do him The story Three Questions has their fold moral. It brought out through the king's three questions. The king wants to be perfect man. For this, he wants to know the right time for every action the most important people to attend to, and the most important thing to do. In order to know the answer to his question, the king goes to a wish hermit living in a jungle. The hermit's answer was very simple but full of deep wisdom. He illustrates them with the help of incidents that the king actually experiences. He tells the king that the most important time is the present moment because it is the only time when we have any power to do something. The most important person is he with whom we are at the moment, and the most important affair is to do him good, because for his this purpose alone man was sent into this life. In these three answers given by the hermit point out the moral of the story. Thus, this story is chiefly gave us moral messages, and it is a very touching story and an important intellectual like type of a story. Thank you.